Natural Plant Protection Podcast, the biological technology show where size matters. We believe the secrets to solving some of the biggest development challenges in the world can be found in some of the smallest naturally occurring technologies. This is not a new idea. For millions of years, the Earth has evolved the molecules, viruses, enzymes, and stimulants required to keep ecosystems in harmony and the planet healthy. In a world demanding more from agriculture than ever, with uncertain food security, a booming population, and threat of climate change, that harmony is out of balance. But what if we could capture and apply the very same naturally occurring technologies that the Earth and the environment have relied on? Would we be able to reverse the trend? That's what we're here to discover. In each episode of the NPP Podcast, we'll meet the micros, some of the most exciting naturally occurring microtechnologies in agriculture, and we'll explore the power of more from less. Joining me today in our first episode to give us an overview of the history, trends, and future direction of biosolutions is Fabio Toretta, Global Chief Operating Officer at NPP. Fabio, welcome to the NPP Podcast.
Hi, Dan. Thank you very much for having me. So exciting with this kickoff of this project.
Excellent. So Fabio has been involved in biosolutions for the large part of his 37-year career, spending time as the regional head for Brazil for 6 years and regional head of Africa for 5. Fabio has seen firsthand some of the challenges that food, farms, and farmers are facing across the developing world, as well as how biosolutions are offering new answers. But before we get into the individual technologies, I just want to take a step back with you, Fabio, and look at the whole picture for biotechnologies. So, my first question is how you've seen the whole sector for biosolutions grow and change over your career. When you first started, was this something that you thought would be important or that other people were speaking about yet?
Now, this is a so interesting question, then, because, if you see the data that we have, of course, that we can foresee a huge growth in biosolutions market. I'm talking about high 2 digits per year. We are estimating from official sources that the market should be around $10 to $13 billion in 5 years. And so everybody's excited with the biosolutions market projection. But what is more interesting than the growth is to see this data with a different mindset, because it's not about the growth, it's about the transformation of the crop protection, the transformation of the agriculture. What I have seen in my life and in the last year and months and weeks and days is that the society, the government, the CEOs, the investors, they are changing. They are putting as a top priority, the climate change and the environmental preservation. And that will change everything, because they are putting sustainability in the center of the equation of the whole production system. And it's not different in agriculture. I think people are requesting a new model, a new agriculture, where we can preserve the environment, the biodiversity, agriculture that could retain in storage the carbon in the soil, and that could produce at the same time a healthier food. In other words, more than ever, it's clear that this new agricultural model should improve yield, but without deplete the natural resource in a long term. It's a marathon, and you need to change our mindset. And I have seen a lot of surveys showing that the environment, the sustainability is very important to people to buy food or to buy any kind of food. investors are saying that they would like to invest in sustainable companies. I think it's a really nice traffic light when you see that the green bonds in the world in the first quarter reached 221 $31 billion. We are predicting this year that the investments in sustainable companies will be $650 billion. And so that is, I think, is the big changer. It's not about a market that is growing, but it's about a transformation, a new marketing, a new people, a new generation. And I believe that is so nice because opening a huge opportunity for us. I think that NPP is in the right place, in the right time to balance these equations through our micropower, our bacteria, virals, plant extract, seaweed, scuppers, sulfur, and so on. We have actually 5 big bio platforms, and we are ready to lead this transformation.
So I want to ask, you spent several years working in South Africa, which is a part of the world grappling today with some of the most aggressive challenges brought about by climate change. What's the relationship you see between issues like drought, heat, desertification, and the role that biosolutions can play today?
Oh, that is, what we have seen when we talk about climate change is that we start to get regions that have been dry, will be drier, or in regions that have been wet, will be wetter. There are extremes more and more often in floods and drought. And in Africa, I do believe that we can suffer this kind of things, and what put in risk, of course, the crops and the biosolutions. Mainly, if you talk about products like Ziba, Biozyme, GA142, Gaxi, they are products that could the biostimulants, for example, can improve the plant resilience and against this kind of abiotic stress. And so if you have a water problem or temperature or light, this kind of products could give some resistance for the plants, better roots, better vegetative architecture, or improving photosynthesis. There are a lot of effects on the plants, and I do believe that not only in Southern Africa, for sure, but in the regions that we can have these extreme weather conditions, I do believe that biosolutions could play a big role. I'd like also to mention about, it's not a biostimulant like Biozyme or Gaxi, but I'd like to talk about Ziba. Ziba is another biosolutions that is related with water efficiency use for the plant. It's a product that could keep 500 times its weight and in water. And we have seen a lot of good results. We are improving the way that we can apply, the way that we can use, but I can see that easily that they could be a key product for Southern Africa. And also, I believe that the biofertilizers will be very interesting as well, because if you can reduce fertilization, that will have two sides: the economic side, because cost will decrease, but also in terms of leaching or in terms of groundwater preservation. And so I think this kind of technologies should be applied, will be applied more and more and in Africa with good results. And biocontrol that could also improve resistance management or reduce the residues. We have a big place in Africa. I do believe that Southern Africa is and could improve your export potential as food export. And so, yes, I do believe that all these products related to abiotic stress and also with fertilizers efficiency or residue management will be all of them be very well received in Africa.
So now shifting perhaps from Africa and the challenges to the potential, we look at Brazil, which is the largest agricultural market in the world. But in many ways, it's right at the beginning of its journey as a developed food system player. And we often talk about how countries can leapfrog the mistakes and missteps made by other developed countries. So how do you see the role here for biosolutions in shaping Brazil's food future?
Oh, I am so exciting with Brazil in biosolutions. You know, actually, I have been very close to this market in the last 10 years and working on productive approach, that is the integration between biosolutions and the synthetic chemicals. And in Brazil, it's amazing. Brazil is one of the top 3 food exports. We have all the conditions to be number 1. If you see a projection in terms of food demand and food production, all the countries should increase their production around more or less 10% until 2030 to supply the food that we will need in 2030. But in this equation, Brazil should grow 40%. And so it means that we will grow much more than the world average in terms of food production. And it means that being export countries, we need to be very good in terms of food quality. And when we talk about food quality, we are talking about residues, about sustainable food. And I have seen that the main farmers, you know, with technology, the new generation that is coming, all of them realized that they need to use biosolutions. They need to see the natural resource in a long-term view. And I'd like to share with you that I have seen more and more farmers, big farmers, not only small farmers, but big farmers that started to building this soil health. They understand that they would like to give to their children a better soil than he received it. They received it, you know. And so, and they are keen that they could do that, because we can see that with a different agriculture, we can call regenerative agriculture or sustainable agriculture, but we have practices that could improve the soil health and could preserve the groundwater, the beneficials, and produce food in a better quality in terms of residues. And the farmers in Brazil are very keen and attentive into change the production food system, and more they are using the bio options. So it's so nice I think I'm not talking about organic farming. Of course, we have a part of the market that will be 100% bio. But nowadays, I think the model is how we have a sustainable model and integrated good synthetic products that we have a lot, good chemicals with the bio options inside and having a better results in terms of yield and quality. And so very, very exciting. I do believe that Brazil is changing. The government is supporting. We started to see also the bio plants in the field. It's very interesting, but there are a lot of big growers that started to produce their own bio products. And so, yes, I think we are shifting the model very quickly, very faster than everybody thought.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting when you see how connected the agricultural world becomes when you start dealing with the MRL requirements from one region, receiving imports or exports from another, and they have to deal with the complexity of different requirements. And biosolutions provides a really critical solution to farmers to be able to export their crops to any part of the world.
You're absolutely right. I have seen and I have taken part of some government meetings here in Brazil, and we are waiting new and lower MRLs for soybean, for maize, for the big crops, export crops for Brazil. And so I believe that it's easy to understand the trend, and so we need to be proactive and ahead of the curve and to be prepared. And I think the farmers are doing the homework in that sense.
That's great. Well, thank you, Fabio, for the overview of your deep experience with biosolutions in the agricultural industry. And further, thank you for mapping out the extraordinary potential for some of these new and existing products to benefit our global food value chains and farmers.
It was a great pleasure. I hope that I can do new episodes and count on me. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's great. Over the next series of episodes, we're going to be meeting the micros and exploring NPP's work with micro power and macro impact. So thank you.